Anyway, Glee is big, people. Like, so big that it's made Gleek chic. So big that babies are actually being given names like Finn and Blaine. So big that this panel could only be held in Hall H. Hall H, people! In fact, Glee is so big that it can't be contained in a single dimension. That's right, maybe you've heard the show has gone 3D. In Glee, the 3D concert movie, the kids at McKinley High won't just break into song, they'll break into a whole new dimension. Want to take a peek? Glasses on, let's roll the clip. Sharon. Next, he's your teenage dream, and he also just became a series regular, Darren Criss. Next, we have a certain dancer with a gift of ab. You know him as Mike Chang, also a newly minted series regular, Harry Shum Jr. Next, please no hiding under your seat. She's really very nice. Please welcome to the stage the woman behind Coach Beast, Dot Marie Jones. Next up, she's McKinley High's resident goth, the Glee Club's Quiet Riot Tina, Jenna Ushkowitz. Choreographer slash Glee project star, Zach Woodley. Next we have exec producer, Dante De Loretto. Yeah. Next, let's introduce co-creator and exec producer, Ian Brennan. And finally, please have a warm welcome for the co-creator and exec producer, Brad Falchuk. So first I want to ask Kevin a question about the 3D movie. How much of a glimpse behind the scenes are we going to get? Is that sort of a warts and all look at what happened behind the scenes?
Yeah, you know, you're going to get a chance to see kind of the interactions of the characters behind the scenes, and also just fans in general and how it's affected their lives, and how the show has, you know, given them confidence and given them a chance to express themselves, and how the show's brought that out of them. So you'll get to see a glimpse between the characters in the show and also the characters within the universe, which is Glee, which is all over the world. So.
And real quick for the cast, what was it like just now watching yourself on this Jumbotron?
Kind of awesome.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, man.
You look a lot younger on there. You were like a little kid, right?
I know, I was... My time was too big for me.
Wow, I didn't remember that.
Well, I want to jump into some big headlines that have been going around about Glee. I'm all about news, so I want to ask Brad, there's been obviously mass hysteria in the Glee community over some comments that Ryan Murphy made about Leah, Chris, and Corey not only graduating at the end of this upcoming season, but leaving for good. Do you care to set the record straight about what the deal is with that?
Yeah, I don't know where that reporter got that information from. I know Ryan spoke to her, but that's not what he said, because here's the exact thing that's going on. Corey, Leah, Chris, they're seniors, and so they're graduating. But because they're graduating doesn't mean they're leaving the show, you know. I always say that this is the reality of, like, if you have Leah Michelle under contract, you don't just say, you know what, we're going to let you go. This wouldn't be kind of the smart thing to do, and so, no. There are a number of Glee kids that are in the New Directions that are seniors, and some are juniors. And so if you come to the first episode, you see who's a senior, who's a junior, who's graduating, who's not graduating, but a number of the original people are not graduating this year.
Okay, and even if they do graduate, that doesn't necessarily mean they're gone.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, no, it's not. It was never our plan. It was never our intention to do that, to let them go. And so I think there was some confusion in the way that the reporter took what Ryan said. but I can guarantee here, you can quote me on this, that they are not done with the show after this season.
And just so we can clear up some confusion, misunderstanding, can you say who is a senior and who is not?
No, I can't say that.
Yeah. Can you say whether Darren Blaine is a senior?
I have no idea.
I can say Jen is a junior.
Am I junior high? Am I still in junior high?
That's the first she's heard of that. Was that? I'm not telling, because she's here, I'll say that. I'm not saying anybody else. But, you know, the idea is the first episode you come back and the whole thing, she wanted me to tell her last night, and I wouldn't. She didn't get enough drinks in me for me to tell her last night. Is you get this whole opening sequence of everybody says what they want to do when they grow up, and so we sort of see who's a junior, who's a senior, and what people's plans are, and the sort of the anxiety behind that.
Okay. You know, one thing I was reading about some of the stuff coming up, the first 13 episodes are going to be character-driven, you know, not so much about stunt casting and special episodes. Is that the case?
Yeah, you know, we really took a very specific amount of time this year to really draw out some longer character arcs for the first 13 episodes, and we sort of split it into two kind of mini seasons. There's the first semester and the second semester, so it sort of drives into sectionals at the end of the first 9, and then the back whatever 12 or 13 that is another sort of semester with different strong stories. But there's also the larger stories that take us through the whole season. So yeah, I mean, Shelby's coming back. Obviously, everybody heard about that for the first in episode 2, but we don't consider that stunt casting, because to us, it's like she's a major character in the show. She happens to be a huge star and a Tony winner and all that, but to us, she's more of a member of the family, so we didn't consider it stunt casting.
And there will be a tribute episode this season, right?
We talked about it. If it happens, it's going to happen in the second half of the season.
Can you say who?
No. No. This, we really do want to spend some real time with the characters in those first 9-10 episodes, so we're gonna focus on that.
Okay. And the other big headline out there, we reported that Cord Overstreet's option to become a regular was not exercised, but that didn't necessarily mean he wasn't returning. I understand he was invited back. Is there any news on whether we will see him this season?
Yeah, you know, with Cord, there was. I look at someone like Harry as a perfect example. Harry has worked on the show for 2 years, and we made him a series regular this year because he really earned it, and we're really happy that, and Darren as well came in, and he really sort of killed it. I'm very proud of those guys, and those guys are really deserve what they got, and so there's no guarantee. You have, the way the contract works is we decided we're going to pick up her option to become a regular, and for reasons that Cord is aware of, we decided not to make him a regular, and at the same time we did invite him to come back and said please come back for a portion of the season, and as see how that portion of the season plays out, we will then maybe make a series regular in the second half of the season, and he declined the offer, which we were very disappointed by, because we were writing stories for him, and we had a lot of great ideas, and we really liked writing Sam, which is, well, we wanted to have him back because we like Cord personally. He's a really swell guy, and also because the character was somebody we were excited about, and we had some cool ideas with him and Mercedes, and but Cord decided that he would have opportunities elsewhere that he would prefer to pursue, and so we can't make him work. So he said no, and so we tell him to go with God, and I will say though, I do want to say that just because he's gone, we do have some. Mercedes will have in episode 1 that she has this new boyfriend she met over the summer who's pretty cool.
Can you say anything more about the boyfriend?
You know, we describe the relationship as sort of like that relationship between Cuba Gooding Jr. and his wife and Jerry Maguire. Like, she's just, he is like, you deserve more, Mercedes. You got to go for Mercedes. You're the best, Mercedes. Like, really lifting her up. And he's sort of this big Bubba kind of guy. And he just, encourages her to want more for herself. And that really drives her big arc for the first half of the season, which is sort of unexpected for her. It's really nice.
All right. Well, speaking of comings and goings, are we going to see Coach Beast back this season, and how much? Because Dot has another. She's in demand and has another comedy that that has come calling. New Chelsea lately, Chelsea Handler comedy on NBC. So will we see her?
You know, I was very embarrassed yesterday because I saw Dot and I love Dot, and she was crying and so awesome, and she didn't know she was coming back, and I was just like, what do you mean you don't know if you're coming back? Of course you're coming back. It's like, well, nobody told me. It's like, well, of course she's coming back. It's like, you don't get nominated for an Emmy, and then we're like, let's say she's fine. So yes, she's absolutely coming back. We have some great stuff for her. She's
Dot, what has the reaction been like when you meet fans? Are they scared at first? Or are they just want to come up and hug you?
A lot of hugging. I love that. The reaction to Coast Beast has been overwhelming, and everybody has been fantastic. Fans for the Beast are awesome.
You know, one of the big questions I got from my readers when I told them I was moderating this panel is they want to know when Tina and Artie are going to get back together. No offense, Harry, but they want Tina and Artie. No? Is that relationship done, Tina, Artie, or is there?
Yes, Brad, is it done?
No, nothing's ever done in this life, but you guys are okay right now. You guys are fine. You guys are going to be fine this year. You and Harry are going to be just fine this year.
Longest running couple of Glee history.
I never want to say, oh, you're never going to break up, because, you know, you get to episode 14 and we're stuck. It's like, I guess we got to break Harry and Tina.
And now that Harry's a series regular, is he going to get a beefed up storyline, a bigger storyline?
Yeah, we're going to meet Harry's parents, and they have some ideas. What's that? Tina, well, maybe we'll meet them at the same time. I'm not sure. That's maybe they're the same.
Just riffing.
Yeah, Mike will have something great, which is, you know, I think his parents have a different idea about what Mike should be doing with his life.
And Darren, for you, what has this year been like? You know, you've been one of the stars, big breakout stars. Has this just been a whirlwind for you?
That's one way to put it. It's been incredibly bizarre and wonderful, and I feel so lucky to be at this table. Last year I was at a Harry Potter panel on the and nobody went because everybody was at the Glee panel. So yeah, it's been a thrill ride, and I've been blessed with an amazing character, an amazing show with great people. I mean, I always sound like such a Saturday morning cartoon when I answer that question, because I'm always so like, rah, everything's great, but it really has been eerily wonderful, and I've been really blessed by some really incredibly talented people. So it's been awesome. Thank you to the fans for being so supportive as well.
Have you gotten any indication where Blaine and Kurt are headed in season 3?
I know nothing. Everything I'm hearing about the show, I'm hearing right now from those men over there. But I don't know. I mean, they're kind of in the honeymoon phase. You know, they've kind of reached that point where they've kind of reached to the next step in their relationship. So I hope they continue to learn and grow from each other, just like any relationship should. And you know, I'm a big fan of Klaine, so I hope that it lasts for a while.
Brad, anything you'd like to say about?
Yeah, they're not breaking up.
They're
good. They're solid. I mean, they got problems. You got problems. You have two stars dating each other. It's going to be you know, some competition there, but they're solid.
I know you're not doing a lot of stunt casting this year, but you are introducing some new characters. One of them is going to be the winner of the Glee project. You guys watching the Glee project? Can you say anything about that character? I understand this person's going to be a nemesis to Sue. Is that correct? That's one thing I had heard.
Not really at all.
We don't know who that person is.
Yeah, we can't sort of.
We don't know who that is yet. We don't know who's going to win.
Okay, but you've already finished shooting, so you have your winner. You know who you have, and are you happy with the results?
It's totally awesome.
Very cool.
Fantastic stuff to write to. Yeah.
And Zach, what has that experience been like? It's sort of raised your profile big time, being on that show.
Finally.
It was interesting and painful, and it was a lot. It was a lot doing our show and that show, but I do love who won, and I think everyone else once they see them on the screen, will be happy with the result.
Cool. Excellent. Darren, I just want to go back. I have a question. I understand you're going to Broadway?
Yeah,
care to confirm or deny?
I mean, I can't confirm that. It's very cool that that's even out there in the air, because that tells me that the producers would even be willing to do something like that. Is very touching to me. Glee is a very hectic schedule, and there's a lot of things going on. So I'm certainly not opposed to the idea, but I cannot confirm anything, unfortunately. But hey, man, put some good energy out there. We'll see.
But even if it does happen, you wouldn't be leaving the show. It'd be for a short run, right?
Oh, I'm sure it'd be for like 2 seconds. I'd blink and then I'd be right back. We're back to work.
2 seconds. How about we take some questions from the audience?
Whoa, look at
My question's for Darren.
I like your hat.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about your solo album. I know you like to play coy about it, but I was wondering if you had a timeline and if we would have older songs like Stutter or The Muse or I Still Think on It, or older songs?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, between Glee and then I guess hypothetically a Broadway musical or anything else, if I decide to pick anything up along the way, I'll be quite busy, and an album is kind of a hard thing to pull off, much less I have a theater company that I'm trying to run as well, trying to write another show. Yeah, so it's hard. I would love to, but we're all very busy. I'm not the only one. God knows. I mean, Harry's got LXD, and everyone's got other projects they're running, and I would love to if I can manage to stay alive and get some rest at some point. But yeah, maybe one of those songs would be on there. But thank you so much for even knowing what those were. Thank you.
Next question. Next question.
Ooh, fight.
Hello there. I'm wondering about your reaction to the deaf cast members you had on the episode with the deaf school. Was it awkward? And how did you feel with the experience? Was it a comfortable experience for you? Were you able to sign? How did that interaction happen?
The most exciting thing about that process, we had no idea what to expect. The writers wrote, there's a deaf choir performs, and we needed to create that, and we learned a great deal. We learned that in that day. We learned that there are different accents when you're signing. We learned that hearing people sign differently than deaf people, and that when we're creating the lyrics, there was a lot of discussion about how to properly sign the lyrics. But I hope for you it was as exciting as it was for us, because it was incredibly moving on the day, and everyone was so articulate and accomplished so much in a few hours.
Thank you. Next question.
Howdy. Oh, hi. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi. My question is for Brad. When you guys write your episodes, in your storylines, does the music or the story come first? Like, what inspiration? Do you hear a song and say, ooh, I want to write a story for that? Or do you write a story and then put the music to it?
It's always a story first, always. Yeah, it's not. I think that anytime if we were trying to have the music, it would be like making a movie based on just the action sequences. Like, oh, it would be really great if there was a great fight here, and it's like, well, I really don't care about the fight, no matter how spectacular it is, if you don't have any feelings about who wins. And so you kind of have to determine the story first, and then the song can fuel that, and that's sort of how we approach it.
Thanks for your question. Next question.
Hi, my question is for the writers. I was wondering if we would be able to see more of the characters' families in season 3, like possibly Kurt's lesbian aunt and Hudson Bubbles and Rachel's dads would be awesome.
What about Rachel's dads? That's some stunt casting I think people would be okay with.
Yeah, it's tricky with parents because I think partially, I mean, we've in the first episode in Showman's, the first episode after the pilot, we'd actually written a scene with her dads and we cut it. Like it didn't.
They showed up for work.
No, I know. Yeah, we pushed on it and then we actually ended up never filming it. But it's weird because we've talked about it forever about different sets of parents, but it isn't. I think it's because sort of when you're in high school, your parents stop being the major influence in your life. You become, you're sort of on your own in a way. I think that's how I explain it to myself, because I can't really figure out why we haven't done Some Parents yet. But I think soon we'll sort of reveal more and more.
Yeah, probably.
Next question.
Okay, thank you for Naya and Hemo. And my question is Barty or Britannia, and it's for the entire cast.
Those were ship names for the non-nerds at the table.
Is it, wait, Barty? Well, yeah, I know.
Marty McFly?
I'm still a fan of Artina a little bit, no offense. I love you too. But I do like Britannia.
Yeah, I think that relationship, Britannia, Britannia, which one is it? Britannia, okay, sorry.
It should be Sam Titney. Sam Titney is so much funnier. It won't catch on. I keep saying this and no one pays attention.
Were you surprised by the feedback to Brittany and Santana? I mean, people were really into the two of them.
I think that we started getting into that storyline almost as a goof at first. It was like this funny joke about them sleeping together because they were so close, and we just thought it would be funny. And then as we started taking some time with it, we realized how we had a group of people that for this show was so inclusive and representative, and then there was a group of people that we weren't representative of. Is that right? Is that right? Representative of? Yeah. And this whole, sort of lesbian and bisexual female community, and so we said, well, let's get into that. Let's see what this is about, and let's try it. And it was, we're fortunate the network wasn't resistant of it, and sort of let us try it out, and then it became something much deeper. And so we're very proud of it. So I guess we weren't surprised because we knew there was a group of people out there looking for something like that.
I also think people, what's so exciting, why people respond to those characters in particular is because they sort of, I think America watched us realize that we had two incredible talents on our hands that we didn't realize. We were both in both Heather Morris and Naya Rivera, who were just, and we just kept uncovering all this stuff. I mean, they would, Heather was sort of cast almost as sort of a, almost an extra in a way, yeah, sort of a background dancer, and then Naya was sort of cast as a pretty face, and then we just realized that Heather is a comic genius, and Naya is as well, and then has this crazy, incredible voice that we just. So that's what's been exciting about that for us. That it was oh my god, how did we get so lucky to get those two actors? Anyway.
So just for the record, Santana is a lesbian and Brittany is just into anything.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
She's Brittany, bitch.
Next.
Hi. I know there's been rumors about the cast members leaving the show, but I was wondering if you've given any serious thought about a possible spin-off with Kurt and Rachel and Blaine.
We were. Yes. It was nice. Peter Rice allowed us to explore that as a possibility, a spin-off with some of those characters, and it was actually it was weird when Chris Colfer was saying that he heard via Twitter about not coming back, because we've been talking about this since March with all of those actors very specifically. So I don't know quite where that was coming from, because it was something we were exploring. Right now, Ryan and I have this other show as well, so you kind of have the two shows, and Glee is sort of, as this big mothership, and so I think we're leaning against doing it, but we certainly have explored it. We were, it was, like I said, Fox gave us the opportunity to explore it. I think we're going to pass, but it was thought about.
And just for the record, the spin-off would focus on characters like Rachel and Kurt, maybe venturing to New York and pursuing their Broadway dreams.
Possibly. I mean, we didn't get look, if you watched the finale last season, that was certainly something that we were planting as a possibility, because we were investigating it, but we didn't get much further than that, like I said, because it's hard to do this, and so it would be a lot.
Next question.
Hi.
My question's for both the writers and Darren. I was wondering, now that Darren is a series regular, congratulations by the way to both you and Harry. Will you guys be willing to develop his character more and possibly explore his background, possibly with his relationship with his dad, or even developing relationships with Glee characters, maybe like Santana, as a friendship? And
Okay, I think that's enough questions. Thanks.
I liked all of those questions.
Yes.
Cool. That's why we made him a series, right?
Is Darren Blaine gonna become part of the New Directions? I would imagine he has to, right?
No,
You're gonna have to tune in. For so many of these things, you have to tune in.
I like Mike, you try and sneak him in there. It's like, oh, casually, like, oh, while you're not paying attention, can I ask you this huge spoiler question? And maybe you'll forget and you'll
slip it in. Next question.
Hi, on behalf of choir teachers everywhere, we thank you for making it cool to be in show choir. For the cast, what would your dream role be on Broadway?
Ooh, good question.
I want to be Kim in Miss Saigon.
I don't see it.
She said Miss Saigon.
Harry? Dream role on Broadway?
Oh man, Singing in the Rain.
I would have to say the MC in Cabaret.
Dot.
Wow. Ursula.
Next question.
Hi, this question is for Brad and Ian. Brad and Ian, which of you wrote Azimio's brilliant lines, and will Azimio have more of a prominent role this season, kind of like Karofsky?
Yeah. We switch off.
Both did, yeah, those, yeah.
But yeah, he's such an awesome character. Named after an actual guy that went to Brad's high school.
He's a buddy of mine, Azimio Rashad, yeah. And no, we switched off on Ellen. And we don't know about Azimio coming back next year. We don't know.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for the question. Next.
Hi, I have a two-part question for Darren. Were you disappointed that you didn't get to sing the Disney song in the finale? And also, which Disney song would you like to perform?
Man, that's a loaded question. If anybody knows me, I'm a huge Disney fan. I don't know. I would be intimidated to sing a Disney song. I think Disney's a tough machine to get a hold of, as far as rights are concerned, I think. But I don't know. I would want to sing probably something from Aladdin, man. But like, ask me in like 5 minutes, I'll change my mind. But yeah, if that ever happened, I would definitely freak out.
Next question.
Hi, Brad. I just want to say I'm a huge Nip Tuck fan. Thank you so much for that show. Amazing in that show. And my question is for the whole cast. I wanted to know, what part of yourself do you see in your characters on the show?
Well, I look like Mike Chang. A lot.
I look very similar.
Very similar.
You guys a little taller.
I mean, I feel he's a stand-up guy. You know, Mike Chang. He stood up for Kurt, and you know, I hope we get to explore a little more of that, because I like to stand up for my friends. But I mean, outside of that, obviously the love for dance and stuff like that, we do put a little bit of ourselves into it, and I know the writers do that as well. So yeah.
Dot, are you at all like Coach Beast?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I mean, I'm a big gush. But as far as like the mean side of her, I can be, but not so much. And as far as like some of the stuff that she's been through in her life, I can relate to. So a little bit, yes.
We love you!
Was that you, Miriam?
Next question.
Hi, this is for Harry. Huge fan of your dancing. Think you're super incredible.
Thank
All
you.
the step-up movies you're awesome in. I was wondering, you and Brittany come from dance backgrounds. If you guys were kind of in the dance scene prior to the show together, like the LA dance scene before being cast together.
Where we, it's, a funny story is, well, I guess Heather was, well, there's this convention, dance convention now. I was one of the teachers in it, and apparently she brought this up to me that I taught her dance when she was at the convention. So we had that like connection that we didn't find out till I think like 4 months ago. So it was funny, but yeah, we knew of each other. It's a small world, and, you know, Zach knew both of us and brought us in.
Next question.
Hi, do you feel that, this is for the writers, do you feel that the original creativity and stuff has been lost a little bit by the popularity that's gained?
How do you spend your days? No.
The stories that are coming out are going to really knock your socks off. I think it's some of the most. It's going to be the most extraordinary season ever. The next one. It's
the onus changes. I mean, you never sit down to. We didn't sit down to write a phenomenon. Nobody sits down to write like I'm going to write a thing that's going to weirdly hit the cultural stratosphere and like change the zeitgeist for a generation. Like nobody does that. We like sat down to write a show about a high school. So it changes it, I suppose. But I think it's wonderful to be sitting here like looking at it like a bajillion pairs of eyes who all care as much as you guys do about the show is fantastic, and you wouldn't trade that.
Next question.
Hi, my question is for Darren and the writers. Is there going to be a Star Kid crossover?
I don't think the boys know what Stark is. So for anybody just who might not, it's sorry, shameless promotion, but I don't know. I'll say probably not. We'll probably keep those worlds separate, just if anyone's confused. That will be.
Next question.
Hello, I just want to thank you all for writing the show. You've really inspired a lot of people. But my question is for the writers as well as Dot. Last season, Will gave Coach Beast her first kiss, and I wondered if you had anything planned for like a relationship and something that boosted her confidence to go out and explore the chances of finding love.
What about that? We haven't, you know, to full disclosure, we haven't thought about it. We've thought about it, we haven't come up with anything yet, but it's certainly out there. We get what people love so much about Coach Beast, which is her, I think her vulnerability, which is what I think is what's best about Dot as an actress. I think that she has, it's, you know, I was telling her about it last night, she spent a lot of time playing the obvious character for her, and I think that knowing her, she's literally the mushiest person I've ever met. She's one of the softest, you know, most vulnerable people, and
can
so
literally crush you in a
while crying. So she's crying and telling you she loves you. Yeah. She's smothering the air out of you, and so we're really interested in exploring those parts of her as a performer, because I think that's what makes people really fall in love with her, and so that I would imagine would be a part of what we would do.
What's Sue going to be up to this season, Frank?
Oh, Sue's running for Congress, in case you didn't hear. On the Sue Sylvester Liberty for America party. Is running for an open seat in the 4th Congressional District because can heart attack Wygand die? That's what Sue Sylvester will be doing.
And how will that fold back into the school and the kids?
Tune in.
I think the idea is, you know, she's taken destroying Will and the Glee Club at a local level, and now she's trying to take it to a more national level. That's sort of why I think small. Sylvester always thinks bigger. And
she doesn't want to just end the Glee Club. She wants to end Glee Clubs.
You know, Sue is running on a no arts platform, which, you know, is not, which is horrifyingly not so bizarre a platform to run on. So she'll be trying to take that out big time.
Can you give us a sneak peek at one of her bitchiest lines from the season coming up?
I don't know. You wrote a Sue's Corner recently.
We can come back.
No. She sees a purple piano and then wants it removed because she thinks it should be in a museum because she suspects that Liberace died on it.
Harsh. Next question.
This one's for Kevin. Coming from fame in Mortal Kombat, what were some of the challenges to making the Glee 3D concert movie?
The ability to cut and do it again is always a challenge when shooting a live show. You know, when you're doing a scripted, controlled environment, you have the ability to start in the middle of a song and do it over again, and you know, have your camera placements where exactly you want it, like you're scripting out an action sequence, basically. But in a live event, you know, and especially in 3D, there's all these technical parameters that you have to kind of go through in order to capture the best moments. And there's so many cast members on stage. You know, everyone is a fan of a different character, so it's really hard to capture that in a live event. But you know, I think we did the best we could, and I hope everyone really likes it. But that would be the biggest challenge with shooting a movie like this in comparison to Fame or something as drastically different as Mortal Kombat.
I think we have time for one more question.
Hi, I have a question for the writers. Do you know someone like Brittany? Like, I don't know, I want to know how you get her lines and stuff.
Yeah, they kind of flutter on little wings out of the air, and then you just pick them up. Sometimes you'll just know instantly what Brittany would say about anything. You sort of walk through your life, and then you're like, oh, if Brittany were here, she would have something to say about that. That's one of the most fun things about our job is writing that character. It's really a really remarkable opportunity. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Nobody knows somebody like Brittany. I mean, that she's unique.
Well, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to the panelists for coming out today. Thanks to the fans for coming.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.